Hi everyone, let's go ahead and see how we can deploy our model at Streamlit services. This will be a final lecture in this series. We have already covered more than 14 videos in Streamlit tutorial for beginner series. You can visit at my channel KGP Talkie, and in a playlist where Streamlit tutorial is there, in that you can watch all my previous Streamlit related videos. So I have covered from the starting that how you start working with the text display, then how you can take the input, and so many other components I have covered in the Streamlit. Some of these components I'm going to utilize in this tutorial. So our task is to make here remove background from your image application. In this application I'll be providing here a sidebar where you can upload an image, and thereafter you can also control amount of background removal intensity, and thereafter once you have your cleaned or background removed data, then you can download those images from here. And thereafter in the final part of this lecture I'll be also providing you how you can make a cartoon from your image. So here is original image, and here a cartoonized version of this particular image. You can download these images from download fixed image and download cartoonized image. Once we are done with the model, this application building in fact, then we will be deploying this model on server. So we will be using here a Streamlit application services. You can visit Streamlit service from at sayer.streamlit.io, and there you can host this application. So I'll be showing you all the procedures of hosting this. Now you can see that this application is hosted at a Streamlit and it's perfectly running there, and these things you can see here. You can download these images as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building this application from the scratch. If you don't want to follow this tutorial, you can directly visit my GitHub repository, and there the code for this tutorial is given. You can visit my GitHub repository, Streamlit tutorials, all the tutorials which I have covered previously, and this tutorial model deployment is there, and then you can you can get this code there instead of just following this video. The link of this repository is given in the video. All right, let's talking. Let's go ahead, get started with the model deployment. Okay, so as you know that before start doing the coding, we need to activate our Python version. So currently I'm working on a Windows machine. So on Windows machine there is a problem with the application, with the library which I'm going to use, that is the rembg. So there is a particular requirement for this rembg. It needs Python 3.8 on Windows machine. So for that I need to activate Python 3.8. So I write here conda activate p38. So Python 3.8 is activated here because I already have this environment created. If you don't have this environment, so first create a Python 3.8 environment, then you need to install all the necessary libraries. So what are the necessary libraries? Let me just quickly copy those necessary libraries for you. So I'm just gonna make here a file. The name of this file is going to be requirements.txt file. So you need to install Cartooner. So this will be used to create a cartoon. rembg will be used to remove the background. There is Pilo library which is for the image processing. Streamlit is obviously there. Numba, NumPy, OpenCV, Python, headless. So these will be also needed when you deploy your model on Streamlit. Thereafter, one more thing you need here. You may not need in your Windows machine, but if you install if you run this application here on online, then you have to install one more library. So that need to go inside the packages.txt. So inside this packages you need to write one additional requirement, library requirement, that is the libgl1. Alright, so there. So these are some necessary requirements which you have to do before deploying your machine learning model. So once you have installed all these things, you don't need to install packages.txt on Windows machine, but for requirement you have to install all these. Once these things are done, then let's go ahead and get started with coding. So first of all, I have imported here all the necessary libraries, like import Streamlit as st, thereafter imported bytes input and output. So this will be used to convert our numpy array as the bytes array for the image processing. Then I also imported here image from the philo, then imported remove background from the rembg library, and then cartoonized from the cartooner library, and then I have imported here cv2, which is the computer OpenCV actually for computer vision processing or computer vision applications. Then I set here some page configuration. So these things I have already in fact covered in my previous videos. Then I set a title, and thereafter I write here dog try upload an image to watch the background magically, etc. So there is a dog try uploading an image to watch the background magically removed. So this thing I have written here. So these things you can see, but this is from our reference application. Let's go ahead and run this application. So I write here Streamlit run 11 underscore model deployment.py. So this is going to open here as http localhost 8502 actually. Yep. So we have got this one. Now we don't have any sidebars, and we only have our title and this text data which is represented here. Let's compare it with our reference application. Till this it is fine. Thereafter we are getting here the two columns, one column for original image, another one is for background removed image here. So here we are also having a sidebar, in that I see there as upload and download. Thereafter we also see here one upload and image file uploader. Thereafter we have here control for the alpha matting, and then download fixed image and cartoonized image. Let's go ahead and first create this sidebar. So to create a sidebar, we need to come here in our this application. I run here always run. Okay, so thereafter I need to start doing a sidebar configuration. So to get started with sidebar configuration, I'll be first of all doing here st.sidebar. Let me just disable my my completion, otherwise it will keep completing. Okay, so I have just disabled that. So st.sidebar.write, and then I'm gonna say here that upload and download. Then I'm just going to put here one gear icon here, or you can say that one gear emoji I'm going to put here. Now you can see here upload and download, and then I'm just going to, okay, yep, I have just expanded it a little bit more. So I have here now upload and download, and thereafter I have here file uploader, and then all these things. So let's go ahead and build those things. Thereafter I write here my upload, that is the image which we are going to upload, st.sidebar. Thereafter I say here file uploader, and in that I say that upload an image. Thereafter I decide that what type of images I'm going to take inside that. So the type of images I'm going to ask from the user, or I'm going to accept from the user, that is the PNG, and then JPG, and then JPEG. So these are only images which I'm going to accept from the user, so that user cannot upload any other format. Perfect. Once you have that, now you are getting this option. Thereafter we are also going to provide here alpha matting and the threshold, which you see here. So alpha matting will make sure that if you want to remove these background in a controlled manner, for example, I can set it here a maximum value, so it's going to remove this background with more intensity. I can set it in lower threshold, this will remove background with the lower intensity. I can also remove this alpha matting completely, so it will be taking all the default parameter to remove the background. It doesn't matter what value you set now in background threshold, it is not going to change anything here. So this part I'm going to code here first. Thereafter I write here alpha matting is equal to st dot sidebar, and thereafter in the checkbox I write here that use alpha matting, and default value I'm gonna say that it is true. Thereafter I write here threshold is equal to st dot sidebar, and thereafter I set here a slider. So in that slider I write here background removal threshold. So this is going to be the background removal threshold, and in this threshold minimum value I'm going to set to 0, maximum value 255, and initial value which is going to set when I load the model, that is going to set at 50, and the step size I'm going to set here 5, so that when you slide your slider it is going to change in the step of 5. Now you can check it here. So where we are making the changes you will be able to see here that the sliders are now changing the value. So these are the initial setup which we have done here. Thereafter we have to write few functions here so that these image background removal can happen, and also these cartoonization can thing happen, and thereafter I'll be showing you how you can deploy your application on Streamlit. Alright, I'll see you in next part. Okay, let's continue our lecture on image background remover and Streamlit application deployment. So we have already covered some basic functionality which we are building in our model deployment process. So these things are met. Now we need to implement these background removal process and cartoon image conversion. Okay, so first of all I'm going to write here a function which is going to remove the background. So I write here def remove underscore bg. So this remove background is going to take the upload, which is actually this my upload in fact. Okay, so this is the path actually, I'm sorry. Yep, so this my upload is actually the path of the file which is uploaded there. Once you have that my upload, then I'm also going to pass here a threshold. So this threshold is coming from this slider, and after this threshold I'm also going to pass this flag which is alpha matting flag, which I am reading in this variable. In this function we will be first reading our image, so I write here image is equal to image dot open. I open it into a variable known as image from my upload file address. Thereafter I'm going to set here the two column section. For one column original image and another column for removed background. So I set that as call 1 and call 2. So these things you can find out in my previous videos where I have covered these page layout configuration parts. Thereafter I write here st dot columns and I provide here 2, that means it will be divided into 2 columns. So moreover this space is divided into 2 columns. Thereafter in column 1 I write here first of all some text data. So that is like original image. Let's go ahead and see that in fact here. So this can keep changing. So I'm writing here original image, and in the original image I'm going to provide here a camera emoji. So that camera emoji I'm just going to get it from here. Okay, let's go ahead and call this remove bg so that we can have a look how these all things are changing. I can just pass this whole variable here like my upload threshold alpha matting etc. So it says that some none type is happening because there is nothing in my upload as of now. So what I say here, if my upload, if there is something in my upload, then call this. Otherwise what you do here, you take some default value. Okay, so some default value I'm going to give a default value which is cat at this address I define that cat value which is placed here inside image. Okay, seems like inside this image I do not have that value. I have somewhere image, let me just find out and then I'll put it here. Okay, so I have placed this cat and the dog inside these images folder. So I say here that current directory and then there is images, and inside that I'm going to put here cat.jpg. So this is the default value. When I don't provide anything in my upload, so this is going to use as the address for my default value cat.jpg. So in column 1 it says that original image and the camera is printed there. Let's go ahead and now print our image, original image. So I write here column 1 dot image, and inside that I pass this image. So this is original image which we have here. This is original image that is used there. Okay, now I can also upload other images which I'll be showing you later on, just to show you this whole application building process. So we have got our original image. Now we are going to remove the background. So I write here st dot I need to write here call to, thereafter I write here call to dot write, and then inside that I write here fixed image, and there I'm going to put here range. This is emoji. Okay, range emoji is placed here. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and remove the background for our image. So to remove background, the process is very easy and simple. I just need to call here fixed is equal to remove. So this remove I have already imported from rembg, and inside this remove I just need to pass some of the parameter. So first of all I need to pass this image which I got from there. So I pass here this, and thereafter I say that whether I want to use the alpha matting. So that is decided by my flag from here, this alpha matting. Thereafter I have also here threshold flag. So how much threshold I want to set here, so that I set alpha matting background threshold is equal to this threshold value. So this image, now for this image background is removed, and that removed background value is placed here. Thereafter I simply write here call to dot image, and in that I just call here fixed. Perfect. Now you should be able to see your fixed image or background removed image here. It says that something is not defined somewhere. I'll be seeing that later on. Okay, so it says that somewhere call is not defined. I think earlier I had written here call, so that's why that part is coming anyway. So now you see there your background is removed here, and now you can set this control from here. Now you will be seeing here the more background will be removed here. Okay, so you can set it even at highest value, so you will be seeing here almost everything is removed from there. Okay, you can decrease it as well. So this is how you can control how much background will be removed. You can deselect this one, so in this way it will just default, it will use the default value, and if you change this value the background removal threshold won't be changed here. So if you compare it with our reference application, so till this part we have completed. Now we need to convert our image into cartoonized image. Thereafter we also need to provide here download buttons as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and call our cartoon image removal. So I'm just going to first call this heading here. So st dot write, and then I call here cartoonized image. Thereafter I'm going to get the cartoon. So you see there from our package cartooner we have here this cartoonizer. So I'm just going to call that cartoonize, and in that I'm going to pass this image variable which we had got from here. So this image is now cartoonized. A cartoon conversion has happened here. Now by default this cartoon value is a byte in NumPy array, we need to convert it into a suitable format so that we can show it here. So I need to convert it into image format. So I call here img is equal to image from array, and in that I pass this variable. So now this is converted into a proper format. Now I can use st.image and then I can show this image. Now you will be seeing here a cartoon version of this original image will be shown here. This is superb, right? Don't you think that this is fantastic? Okay, so now we have completed till this part. Now only the task is left, that providing these download buttons for this fixed image and this cartoonized image what we are seeing here. So for that there would be a little bit more extra process, because to download we have to convert these image values, this fixed value and this img value, into input output byte formats. So to convert that we have to write here a function. So I'm just going to write that function. In fact, I'm just going to close that part here. So I write here def, then convert image. I pass here image variable, and then I say here there is buffer bytes IO. You do remember this we had imported from input output module. So we have got here buffer. Buffer is built of bytes input output, and thereafter img save. I say that in what format img will be saved. So I'm going to use here buffer, and then format I'm going to use here PNG. So the PNG will be used to, overall our image bytes are converted into PNG format so that it can be saved easily. Thereafter I pass here byte im. So this is a streamed byte stream image. There I call here buff dot get value, and thereafter I return this byte converted image format. So once you have got this, now you are ready to make your download button. So to make our download button, I'm going to provide this download button in sidebar. So for that you need to write here st.sidebar download button. Then you need to provide here label for that download button. So for that I write here download fixed image, and thereafter I call this convert images. In that I'm going to first pass our background removed image, which is this fixed one. So I call that one here fixed, and thereafter I'm going to provide here the file name which is going to be used to download it. So fixed.png. Okay, so this is going to download it. Thereafter this download will happen for the this one. Now you can check that here. So this download button is provided here, and if you click on that you will be seeing here fix.img, and there you see that the background is removed here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and provide a similar button for our cartoonized image. So I provide here st.sidebar, and then again I provide here download button, and in that I provide here a label which says that download cartoonized image, and in that I also use here convert images, and in that I am going to use this img. You see that this img is used for cartoon image. Thereafter I'm going to provide here the name of the file which is going to be used, so cartoon.png. Perfect. Now we have here both button. Let's go ahead and try out if we can download our cartoonized image. So I just click on here download cartoonized image. You can see that here cartoon.png is downloaded. Perfect. Here, congratulations, you have built your own background removal application and cartoon image converter. So this has been the second part of this tutorial. In the last part of this tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can deploy this model on the Streamlit server. Alright, I'll see you then. Alright, so our image background remover and cartoon conversion model is ready to deploy. We are going to deploy it on Streamlit server. So to deploy it on Streamlit server, there are few things which you have to do. First, you need to visit at share.streamlit.io. So that part is here, share.streamlit.io. Once you visit here, it will ask you to continue with Google and continue with GitHub. You need to make sure that you are connected with the GitHub, and thereafter you also need to connect it with your Google account. So once you have connected it with the Google and GitHub with the email, so once that part is done, then you will be logged in into your Streamlit dashboard. That will look like something like this. I'm not showing that because there are personal informations while login. It will reveal those like my email address and my GitHub repositories, etc. I mean, public repository is fine, but there are so many private repositories. So I just don't wanted to disclose all those private repositories. So I assume that you would be able to sign up at share.streamlit.io. Once you sign up here, then you would be able to see it something like this. Probably if I delete this part, let me just delete this one. Probably you would be able to see it something like this, where you won't be having any application. So you will be asked to make a new application. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started from here. So there are two things here. Once you will be asked to get started with application, you have to also make sure that you have right repository to get started with your application. So first of all, you have to make a GitHub repository where you have uploaded your file. So my file is here. This 11 model deployment.py file. So this is the file which I have deployed at GitHub repository. Once you have deployed this file, you also need to make sure that you also have their packages.txt, and in that packages.txt you must have that seems like that part is not visible here, but you must have, oh, what is happening here? Something has happened with this, so it's not able to disclose that line of the code which I have written here. But I had shown you that you need to just let me show it here. So in that packages.txt file, you need to have this libgl1, and then in requirements.txt file, you need to have all these libraries which is going to be installed in Streamlit server. Okay, so once you have all these, then you are ready to deploy your model. Okay, so for our reference, I'm going to use my repository Lakshmi Merit Streamlit tutorial. Do remember, in this root repository, I have my file here. All right, the file which I'm going to use. So this need to be as a root into a root repository, and also these packages and requirement.txt also need to be into root repository. Once you have these, then you need to click on new application. In that, it will ask which repository you are going to use to deploy your application. So obviously my application is inside this Streamlit tutorial repository. So I'm going to select this repository. Thereafter there is branch. So which branch you are going to select? I have only one branch. If you have multiple branch, you can select that branch which will be fetched to deploy your application. Thereafter it will also ask you to which file you need to make as main file path. That means where is your application deployed. So I select this 11 model deployment as my main application file. So I put the name of that 11 model deployment.py. Thereafter it asks about the app URL which will be used to display your app, something like that, which we had seen earlier. So I'm just going to use some some custom name. Probably I'll use here rimbg. I think this name is already taken probably, so this name is not available. I use here kgp Talkie and then kgp Talkie and then rimbg. Okay, let me just see if I can use underscore. Seems like underscore is not allowed here, so I use here kgp Talkie rimbg.streamlit.app. Okay, so this is subdomain name, and thereafter you need to come here in advanced setting. You can also decide that if any Python version change you want. So I just want this default value. Thereafter you just need to click on deploy. It is going to take some time before deploying your model. Perfect. So it has started deployment process. It might take a while to deploy your application. I just make it into a full screen, and then I'm just going to zoom it a little so that you can see it here. You need to click on manage app. In manage app, you will be seeing here that all the required libraries are getting installed here at Streamlit server. So this Streamlit server is self-hosted. You don't need to manage server in any way. You need to just deploy your model. Whenever you make any changes in your repository, those changes are going to reflect directly here. So you also don't need to worry about any changes which again you need to deploy on the server. As soon as you make the changes in the Git repo, these changes are going to get deployed here on KGP. On this KGP Talkie RemBG Streamlit app itself. Perfect. Now you see that your application is deployed, and here is the link for that application. It is perfectly ready to get started. So a default value is used here. So this is the default, default image is used here, but you can also change the image. You can click on upload image, and then you can click on here at download, and then you have Streamlit, and then inside this you have images. I'm going to upload here the dog image, then it's going to upload, and then finally it is going to upload dog image here, and then background is removed for this dog image, and you see there this dog is converted as the cartoon image. Now you can just copy this link, and this link can be shared with anyone. You can open this link wherever you want. So I open it here, kgp talkie-rembg.streamlit.app. It will take a while to make it working. So now you can see that this is downloaded here. This application is opened here. A default image is used to remove background and also to convert it into a cartoonized format. Perfect. So one more thing, you might notice that the changes which we had made here, that is not visible. So the reason is that I had not pushed that into my GitHub repository. So I'm just going to push that into my GitHub repository, and once I push that, you will see that these changes will be reflecting here. So I'm just going to push that. So I write here git add git commit -m, then I write here that changes, and then I write here git push. So as soon as I write here git push, it is going to upload all the changes. Once all these changes are uploaded, now you see that this automatically got refreshed. Now you can clearly see here that cartoonized image is there. You can also check in the repository. I have just made a changes. Yep, you see here that now, which is just now, I made a changes, and those changes got reflected there. Okay, somehow seems like this application got broken out, but do not worry about that. Everything is under control. Whenever anything happens like that, you need to come here, and then you need to click on reboot app. So in this way, what will happen, if anything goes wrong, it will again reinstall every library and it will make it working. So finally you can see that this application has started again. You can share this link with anyone, whoever you want. So this application will start working perfectly. So this is all about in this lesson. I hope that you have learned a lot in this lesson. If you have really liked this tutorial, please do like this video and subscribe this channel. I would also request you, please do share this video on social media. It would be really helpful to me. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.